Hey, Kyle here. Today I have the privilege of sitting down with Jayme Mercer of American Family Insurance. So, Jayme, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Help people get to know you a little bit.
All right, thanks, Kyle. I'm Jayme Mercer with American Family. Um, what do you want to know or need to know about me? I have a family, so Cynthia is my wife, Devin's 19-year-old son, and Isabel's 17. We have a couple dogs. Everybody loves dogs. Hershey is the newest addition.
Okay.
So he was a COVID puppy.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. So he's 6 months old and growing like a weed.
What breed?
He's a Legato.
What in the world is that?
Yep. He's an Italian water dog.
Okay.
Is like their official description. They look like a golden doodle.
Okay.
So everyone's like, "Hey, what kind of doodle do you have?" It's like, "Yeah, sure, it's a golden doodle." So they're not very common.
Okay.
But we're allergic, and so hypoallergenic is kind of our thing, and they're hypoallergenic and fit right in.
So Jayme, what hobbies do you have? What do you do kind of outside the work? Like, we're going to get to some of the insurance stuff, but what do you kind of do outside the office for fun?
Well, it's July, actually tomorrow, so the end of June. I'm super into fireworks, actually, believe it or not. I'm a pyro. Everything's legal and legit. Nothing crazy that's not legal. But who said insurance agents can't have fun, right? Like someone said we're boring. We're not boring. We like to have fun. So piles and piles of fireworks, fuse them together, light them all off at once. It's crazy. Lots of explosions, lots of smoke, lots of flame.
All right, Jayme, so you started this agency. Give us the backstory on how you got into insurance and how you started.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So backstory is really wanted more for myself and our team. Wasn't super thrilled with my position in the past. So in 2011, wanted to kind of take a leap. We started the agency totally, so they call it scratch, meaning zero clients. And just like any other business, you open with no clients, and organically grew it. Kind of roughly every year, we've added a new team member.
Okay.
So we're up to 7 team members now. But we found that a lot of local businesses or some businesses just don't want to offer as much in the way of benefits or in the way of flexibility that the employee, the team member wants or needs. Yeah. We've got kids, we've got families, we want to go to soccer games, we've got dentist appointments, we want to take time off for the holiday. Yeah. So it's really just making sure that everyone is treated equal. Everyone is 100% equal. We're all team members, we're all teammates. Yeah. And just being flexible 100% as much as possible.
Where does that philosophy come from?
My prior career, everything was a no. You know, time off, vacation, leave early, come in late, dentist appointment, anything, just enjoying life. It was a no. Hey, sorry, we can't do that. We don't have time. We need you here. Yeah. Can't do that. Sorry, we need you here. And so it just grew from internally just really not enjoying that and wanting more for myself and wanting to be able to give that to other people.
What's been the most rewarding thing of starting something from scratch?
It's a really good question. A couple of things. One is probably the team. They really, really enjoy the flexibility. Honestly, I don't think there's ever been a day or an occasion that someone has said that they need or want time off and we've said no. It comes down to it. If I'm here alone doing the office by myself, then that's what it takes. Yeah. If everyone's on vacation, everyone's on vacation. So just putting them first is the key, is to put them first and treat them as better than we can, like the golden rule: treat others how you want to be treated.
Absolutely. So what's been the biggest challenge of starting something from scratch?
Just the learning. There's no handbook. There's no one size fits all. There's nothing or no one that says if you do it this way you'll be successful and there will be no problems, no hiccups. There's always a speed bump. There's always something we're learning new, no matter how long myself or some of our team have been doing this. We have team members with over 20 years experience, and we're learning something new every week.
Well, on that note, we're in the midst of this pandemic. So what have you been learning in the midst of this season?
Yeah, so for us in our office, it's we've really been learning how to be agile, quickly, transition to working from home, as most businesses and locations are, overcome technology, um, really become friends with technology, embrace it as much as
Yeah.
possible, um, and learning that kindness is a currency. Is just remember to, um, even though this is very trying times and we want to be able to just pay it forward as much as possible and try and be as kind and courteous as people, stress is higher and
Yeah.
things are more crazy than ever.
So what about you personally in this season? About maybe your leadership or being kind of the one who started this thing from scratch? And so you talked there about your team for a minute and what you're trying to stress to them. What are just about you personally? What are you learning in this season?
That you can never be too prepared.
Mm.
Um, Insurance is the it's the source that puts people whole again.
Okay.
When things happen, when there's problems, we're supposed to be there to make you whole again. And you can never be too prepared. It's crazy.
So let's talk COVID. You talk about being prepared. I'm not sure any of us were prepared for this season. So how has that affected you and your business?
Yeah, that's a very good question. To be honest with you, we've been very fortunate that we were, told or deemed that we were essential, so we got to stay open in some capacity. We weren't physically open, but we were working from home and adjusting to that. But a lot of the adjustments have come to being patient with customers, finding ways to help them not make payments or skip payments or lower their bill if they could still make a payment, but they needed to pay lower amounts. And so really just trying to really increase our level of passion and compassion, actually, and just be there for people to make it as easy as we can, because this is very challenging and difficult for everybody.
So on that note, you're probably feeling a lot of insurance type questions with just some of the current events in our culture. So what are some maybe insurance questions that you're fielding, or just whether it's the most frequent questions or just something that you would like to offer those who are going to watch this video in the business community? What's something that you might offer to them?
Yeah, absolutely. The most common question is going to be about COVID. Is this covered? Do I have coverage for this? Are you going to pay me while my business is closed because I'm not open? The answer is most policies don't cover pandemic or a virus like this for business income. It's unfortunate. Haven't really heard of a lot of companies or businesses that have it, or the insurance companies that offer it. But the most important thing is to review your policy. It sounds crazy, but you want to look at it, and you want to look at it now and know what you have. So when something does happen, you're prepared. Most business policies are very a la carte, meaning you can have the most stripped down basic coverage of liability only, or you can add on all kinds of different optional coverages and have a very comprehensive, robust plan. None are the same. Even if you have business insurance, it doesn't mean you have specific coverages for your equipment or loss of income or things like that. So review it, know what you have, and be prepared moving forward. So
how does that relate to something like named peril versus open peril?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So that is probably the biggest education moment that we try and have with all of our clients. And that's really when they have the aha moment, and that I really light up and get excited when you've talked to someone who's been in business for 30 years and no one's ever explained the different types of coverages to them. So a named peril policy is going to list everything that's covered, every type of claim that's covered, and it's on the customer's side to prove that happened and that it's covered. You have to prove that it's covered. Open peril is a better policy. That's the policy that we recommend. That's a policy that we have and offer our clients. And that policy is going to be the complete opposite. It covers everything and lists the things that are optional or excluded. That policy, it is on the insurance company's due diligence to prove that it's not covered
Gotcha.
versus you as the named peril and the insured having to prove it is covered.
Gotcha.
So more comprehensive, better coverage, more things are covered with open peril, much better policy for business owners and for homeowners.
You've done a lot of stuff to support different local businesses. I think every week I might hop onto your Facebook page and you're trying to promote some local restaurant or business or do some game of bingo just to invest in others in the midst of this season. What are some ways that the community can turn around and support you?
That's awesome. I think that really what we want is we want to be able to help grow and get through this together. We truly do. I think a lot of people talk about it, but shopping local, shop where you live is huge. I kind of mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
Kindness is a currency. Pay it forward. If you specifically want to support us, we would love to hear from you. We would love to review your business policy or your home policy, and we will 100% give you honest feedback of if you have the best coverage or maybe not the best. We'll tell you which direction to go, and even if it's not with us, we want you to have what's best for you.
Awesome. That's great news. I love that honesty and integrity there. And so, any last words of what you would like the community to know, those who are watching this? Just the floor is yours to share, whether it's your sales pitch or just maybe even something good that's happened in the last couple of months that you've seen to just
the positive side is hard to find when things are really, really difficult. I think the positive is that a lot of people are coming together as humans through this with a lot more compassion and having a lot more understanding for each other, and that we're in this together. That this is us together trying to reduce the damage and get through this together. I think that's what's most important is to be there and support each other. Absolutely. And trying to give versus worrying about receiving. Too often we worry about receiving and not worry about giving.
That's great. That's great. And so I mentioned your Facebook page. You mentioned that people can reach out to you. So where can people find you if they want to reach out to you guys?
Yeah, so right now, not in person. We're trying to do our part of social distance as much as we can. So phone is great, 360-816-8425. Or always, online, there's jaymemercer.com, Facebook page, always different ways.
Okay. Be sure to link to that. Jayme, this has been an incredible conversation just to sit down with you. I've learned something in the midst of this conversation, which is always fun. So thanks for sitting down with me. And we always want to encourage you who are watching, support local, support Van Law.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys.